Namaste Gurukulians. Hope all of you are healthy, fit and fine. And welcome back to our channel, the Gurukul NILOKHERI. And I, Sanjeev Sharma, lecturer in English, welcome all of you here once again. And today I am going to teach you chapter number 4 of your main book, Flamingo book. Clear? So I hope that you would all be listening to me attentively and you will give your 100% concentration. So here I start the chapter. Chapter's name is Rattrap, written by Selma, Lagerlof. Clear? Chapter number 4. It is chapter number 4, right? This is chapter number 4 from your Flamingo book, Rattrap. Clear? Written by Selma, Lagerlof. Rattrap is a motivational story. It is one of the wonderful stories written by one of the renowned personality, Mrs. Selma Lagerlof, a Swedish writer. Swedish, I mean to say that she was from Sweden, right? Sweden, it's a country. Clear? She was born on 20 November 1858, right? 1858, 20th November 1858 in Sweden, right? In Sweden she was born and she died on 16th March 1940 in the same country. Clear? She was born on 20th November 1858 and she died on 16th March 1940. Clear? So during her timings she was involved in so many activities, just like she was a social activist, she was a teacher, she was a writer, she was a columnist. Clear? So many things she had performed in her life. She started getting her interest in the field of English literature when she had published her novel Gösta Berling's Saga. Gösta Berling's Saga, when she was at the age of 33 years old. Clear? When she was at the age of 33 years old, this was the first novel. It was published, Gösta Berling's Saga, and it had given Selma Lagerlof a worldwide popularity. Clear? So after that, one by one, so many short stories, so many novels she had given to the world, and her depiction is so motivational that the readers are getting attracted towards it. The content matter is full of interest. Clear? So, and Rattrap is one of them. Before I start the chapter, before I just go through word to word reading, I would like to throw lights on the significance of the title Rattrap. So students, Rattrap, it is the combination of the two words, rat plus trap. Clear? R-A-T, rat, plus T-R-A-P, trap. Rat, you know very well, it's mouse. Trap means whenever you are going to capture someone. Clear? So if you want to capture a rat, okay, in a cage, this is called rat trap, right? So it relates to that. It is very much significance because it gives us a message ki this world is like a rat trap. Rat trap, it is a cage whenever we are keeping it at our home, and it consists of bait, B-A-I-T. B-A-I-T. Bait means temptation. Clear? Temptation or greed as well as. Okay, we are hanging a bait inside the rat trap and we are keeping its mouth open. As the mouse comes near and it starts entering into the cage, so after touching the bait, after touching the temptation, clear? So it gets locked into the rat trap. Similarly, the world is like a rat trap. So many baits we can find out, so many greed we can find out. Sometimes we are lost in the greed of money. Sometimes we are lost in the greed of property. Sometime indifferent, sometime indifferent. So many temptations are there, and because of these temptations, because of these baits, we usually find ourselves in a big trouble. Clear? In this way, Selma Lagerlof, she has beautifully conveyed a message that we must be taking care through our intellectuality, that whether it is right or wrong for us, before getting attracted towards any bait into the world, we must do introspection over it. That's why a big scholar has rightly said, think before you do, right? And one more message has been conveyed. This was the one message: the world is like a rat trap, and we usually get attracted towards the greed, and we usually find ourselves involving in some trouble, some problems, some obstacles, right? So this is conveying a second message, students. The message is if you are having good hospitality, if you are having a good and noble nature inside you, if you are a good person by heart, clear, you are having the capability to change the heart and mind of a cruel person. Clear? This message has beautifully conveyed by the writer by taking an example of a peddler, of a vagabond. Clear? Peddler, and another word, vagabond, Vagabond. Clear? Peddler or vagabond. In Hindi translation, you can say avara or ghumakkad, right? In Hindi translation, these are two words, avara and ghumakkad. Peddler and vagabonds are those are roaming from one place to another to another without any work. Clear? They are just simply wasting their times. So there was a peddler in the story, and he was a jobless and homeless person. Clear? He was very poor. He didn't have sufficient bread to fill his stomach. And what was his business? His business was to collect some iron wires from the scrap dealer shop, from the factories, the iron wires. Okay, he was collecting, and he started making some rat traps. And after making some rat traps, and he was hanging throughout his necks, and he was holding in his hand some of them, and started roaming here to there to here, in which street, in which village, in which town he was going, even he didn't know. Clear? And he was selling his rat trap, but his business was going in vain. His business was going in loss. Why? Because nobody wanted to purchase his rat traps. Clear? So as a result, that he could not fill his stomach properly. I told you that he was a vagabond, he was a peddler because he didn't have any home, he didn't have any job, and merely a business he was having, and that was going in loss. Clear? So this was the profession he had been performing. The story takes place when one day when he was moving to a place which was completely unknown to him. When he paid a visit to an isolated place, it was the winter timing, it was the end of December, just nearby Christmas. Clear? Christmas is a festival, you know very well, it usually comes on 25th December. So just 1 or 2 days before, he paid a visit to an isolated place, and he was going to sell his product, the rat trap he was having, but he didn't find any customer. And moreover, nearby 6 p.m. in the evening, when darkness swept around to him, and he got panic, he got fear. Then he didn't know how to pass the time and where to pass the time. But luckily he saw there was a hutment. There was a hut, H-U-T, hut or hutment, both words we can use. So there was a hut, and he just simply quickly reached towards it, and he got a delighting from inside. He got delighted, and he got very much happy from inside, as he was having an expectation to spend at least a night, and he would be expecting to get a shelter for one night. Clear? He simply knocked the door. This was the hut. That was the hut of a crofter. C-R-O-F-T-E-R. Crofter means farmer, right? It's a synonym of farmer. But make sure, students, if crofter word is given in your book, then you are to write down only the word crofter in place of farmer, right? So this was the hut of a crofter, and simply he knocked the door. The crofter, he opened the door and started asking, because the person was completely unknown to him. And one more thing, crofter, he lived alone. He didn't have any family member. He didn't have wife. He didn't have kids. Nobody else used to live with him. For years, he had been living alone, and the life of isolation he had been living. And he got surprised that the person who had come to meet him even after several years, when the peddler, he told him, he gave his introduction that he was a Rattrap seller, and he had forgotten his place, and he had come to have a shelter for a night, and he started demanding, could he please allow him to spend at least for a single night. At this, the crofter, he got happy, because after a long gap, he had got a company of some human beings. At least a human being had paid a visit to his hutman, and he simply gave him warm welcome. And the peddler, he got entered inside the hutman. As he got entered inside, the crofter, he had cooked porridge, Porridge. Porridge means, I think it's a table you might have heard, dalia. Clear? So he had cooked the hot porridge, and it was served for the peddler, the vagabond, and he had taken it as a supper. SUPPER. Supper means evening meal. But make sure, bachcho, supper, it is called a liquid diet. Whether we can take a porridge, clear, whether we can take soup, whether we can take something else, okay, which is not very thick, like chapatis and some other things, okay. So this was a liquid diet, just like not exactly very much liquid, but it was made of milk and the product, whatever he was having, the cow, okay. So it was made of milk, so it was supper, you could say. So after getting supper, then the crofter, he had taken some tobacco, TOBACCO. Tobacco he was having for smoking, and he offered tobacco to the peddler, and both of them, they started enjoying it. And after that, they started playing cards, okay. And both of them, they had played the game of Majolis. MJOLIS. It is the name of the game in playing cards. Clear? Playing cards. So they started playing the cards till late midnight, till 12 o'clock. Both of them, they had been gossiping with each other, and through their gossiping, the crofter, he started explaining to the peddler that he had been living there alone. And then vagabond, he started asking merely a question, so how do you manage for your livelihood? You needed some money, at least anyhow, that you don't have any family member, but still for your survival you needed some money. How do you manage? Then the crofter, he told him that he had a cow, okay, and by selling its product, he earned 30 kronors per month. 30 kronors. Bachcho, please, children, pay attention. Kronor, it is the currency of Sweden. Clear? It's a Swedish currency. Like in India, we are having rupees. In America, dollars. Okay, and in England, pound. So similarly, in Sweden, the currency is kronors. Clear? So 30 kronors he used to earn. And at this, the vagabond, he didn't believe. Then the crofter, he left his place and went nearby a window. There was a window, just along with, beside window, there was a nail, Nail, nail. Clear? Keel, you can say that in Hindi translation. Khunti, you can say that. So there was a nail just along with the window pane, okay, and there was a leather pouch, Pouch. Leather pouch was hanging on the nail, and he took the leather pouch, unfolded it, and he took 30 kronors out of it. 3 notes he had shown 30 kronors to the peddler, and then the peddler, he believed, yes, he could earn 30 kronors. and this was like a bait. Please underline one thing, the 30 kronors which had been shown by the crofter to the peddler, this was like a bait. B-A-I-T, bait means temptation. It was like a greed for him. Immediately, simply he made a plan in his mind. The next morning he would steal the money. Clear? And after that, both of them, they slept away. The next early morning, they got up by having a light breakfast. Both of them, they left the place. The crofter went to this way to his fields, and the peddler, he went to this way. But as per his planning which he had made one night before, the previous night, in the night he could not sleep properly. He was making some plan, making some strategy. So after 100-200 meter, he returned back and went to the hutment. Clear? And at the back side of the hutment, he went to there. He reached to the place where the window was located, and he, with his blow, with his head, with his fist, he smashed the window pane with his blow and put the hand inside, and from the nail he took the leather pouch out, opened it, took 30 kroner, put into the pocket, closed it and hanged on the same place, left the place and ran away quickly. When he was moving on the main road, he started thinking in his mind that suppose anyhow if the crofter would have come to know that I had stolen his money, he would have complained against me and I might be caught. So in place of moving on the main highway, he took the way towards the jungle, and finally he got entered into the densely tangled jungle. It was full of trees and he didn't know where to go, where not to go. And finally he reached the place which was completely unknown to him. And the next day, same thing happened. It was the evening time. The darkness swept around him and he got panic and fear stricken. Clear? This time he couldn't think what to do, where to go, where not to go, because the previous night he had got the shelter at the hut of the crofter. But today what would he do? Where would he go? He couldn't understand, and in a panic situation he laid down on the ground. But the destiny was favoring him. Clear? The stars were in his favor. Immediately he started listening the sound of some hammer. H-A-M-M-E-R. H-A-M-M-E-R. Hammer means hathoda. Clear? In Hindi translation. Somebody was giving the thump of hammer on some iron rod in this way, very heavily, in this way, again and again, tha, in this way. Clear? So hammer sound was coming, very faint sound, F-A-I-N-T. Faint means very light sound, and he got happy. He started imagining there must be some iron mill in my surrounding, and this sound is definitely coming from there. And by following the sound from which direction it had been coming, he simply started moving towards the iron mill. And after 30 minutes, he found himself standing before Ramsjo Iron Mill. This was the name of the mill, students. Wait for a while, let me erase it. So, this was the name, Ramsjo Iron Mill. Clear? This was the name. He found himself standing before Ramsjo Iron Mill. Clear? And he got happy. Immediately he opened the main gate and he got entered inside. When he got entered inside, he found there was a blacksmith. Blacksmith means luhar. He was sitting before a furnace. F-U-R-N-A-C-E. Furnace means aag hi bhatti. Clear? Okay, there was a furnace and there a blacksmith and his apprentice. A-P-P-R-A-I-N-T-I-C. Apprentice means chela. Clear? Disciple, apprentice. He was the apprentice under the blacksmith. The apprentice and blacksmith, both of them, they kept sitting before the furnace and had been working with an iron rod, and the apprentice was thumping on the iron rod, and this was the sound coming from here. Clear? The peddler, he simply came before the blacksmith and started asking for the permission. He was seeking the permission to spend for a single night. He wanted to have a shelter for a single night, and he asked, excuse me sir, may I sleep over here for a single night? By tomorrow next morning I would be gone from here. At this, full of arrogancy, the blacksmith, he didn't show any emotions. Then the peddler, simply he got the message ki suppose if he slept over there, this blacksmith, he didn't have any objection. Just before the small little bit light, it was coming from the furnace, and small heat was coming, clear, and he kept lying over there before the furnace and slept over there, right? In the midnight, nearby 12 o'clock, okay, the owner of Ramsjo iron mill, the iron master, you can say that, the iron master, he paid a visit over there. No electricity was there, just only dim light, the faint light of the furnace, it was coming on the face of the peddler, and he was shocked to see who was lying on the floor, and carefully he started examining the face of the peddler. Then he mistook him. He mistook him as one of his old friends, Nils Olf, Nilsolf, Nils Olf. Then he said, oh my dear friend, what happened to you? The peddler, he woke up and he was surprised. I don't know sir, he replied simply, my name is not Nilsolf sir, I am a simply vagabond, I am a simply peddler, I am simply a Rattrap seller, and these are my products sir. I simply came over here in order to have a shelter for a single night. Then again the iron master, he started thinking. Then again he mistook him. Then he said, oh my God, you are my Captain Von Stale. He took him as a Captain Von, S-T-A-H-L-E, Captain Von Stale. Then he said, oh my God, you were in army, you are a captain, you are one of the old friends. Oh captain, what is your condition? You are looking like a beggar. Oh my God, I can understand something has been wrong with you, but something has been wrong with you. Why didn't you come to your friend? I'm your true friend. Definitely I would help you out. Then means you didn't come to me. It had given me a great shock, a great pain from inside. Again the peddler, he denied. No sir, you are mistaken. I'm not your friend sir, I'm not your friend. Then he said, oh, I can understand captain that you don't want to take the help of anyone, but please, as I'm your friend, you would have to accept my request that I want to take you at my home. Please come with me. But peddler, he denied. No sir, excuse me, I don't want to go with you. As I told you, I'm not your friend. The iron master, he was requesting. The peddler, he was denying. He was requesting, he was denying. This process continued for some minutes, but at last the iron master, he had to surrender, and he left the peddler there and just went back to his home. And peddler, again he slept away. After half an hour, approximately 30 to 40 minutes later, the daughter of the iron master, her name was Edla Wilmanson. Edla, E-D-L-A, Edla Wilmanson, right? Edla Wilmanson, she was the daughter of the iron master. She paid a visit over there, and she came with a servant, and she was having a fur coat, F-U-R-R, fur coat she was having as she got entered inside. One thing I would like to tell you, the physical appearance of Edla Wilmanson, physical expressions were not so much good, but by her and by her voice, she was very polite, and she used to speak in such a humble way that nobody could deny her request. Clear? When she got entered inside the iron mill, and then she had seen that she had seen the peddler was lying just before the furnace, and simply she started requesting, excuse me sir, good morning, and sir, this is a card for you from my father's side. Sir, this is my humble request that you are the friend of my father, that you would have to come with me to my home, and you once had denied to my father, but this time you can't deny me. Clear? She was speaking in such a polite and humble way that the peddler, he couldn't deny, and got immediately ready to go with Edla Manson. He got up and took all of his Rattraps, and he accepted the fur coat which was offered by Edla, and both of them along with the servant, they had gone away from there. The blacksmith and the apprentice both were sitting. Okay, they started looking like open mouth in this way. Oh my God, what happened? Okay, and when now the peddler, he had reached at Iron Master's home, and there he did his grooming, shaving. Okay, he was bathing himself, clear, and he wore the coat, pant, beautifully dressed since he was wearing, and it was the next morning, clear. So in the next morning when he came before the Iron Master, okay, this time Iron Master properly he recognized him. Oh my God, you are not Captain Wonsdale, you are not my friend. Then the peddler said, that's what I said to you sir in Ramsjo Iron Mill, and you were just going to pressurize me. And not only you, then you had sent your daughter as well, as I told you that I'm not your friend. Then you were saying that you are my friend, come with me, come with me. So that's why I was brought here because of you, sir. Then the Iron Master, he started losing the temper. If you have entered in my home, clear, it means I must inform to the authorities. At this, the peddler, he got much aggressive, and he just gave a blow on the table in this way and said, how dare you talk me like that in this way? Means that it was your mistake that you have taken me here. It was not my fault. Once if you have taken me over here, I am not responsible for that. That was the Christmas morning, 25th December. The peddler, sorry, the Iron Master, he didn't want to create any scene at his home. He simply started asking the peddler to leave his home peacefully. Then the peddler, he was about to move. Then immediately Edla Manson, she interrupted, because she was very good at her. She was very kind and generous lady. She interrupted in between and started asking her father by telling that, oh dear father, it was not the mistake of the peddler, that he had already denied, and it was the fault of you that you mistook him as one of your old friends, Captain Wonsdale. And now this time we should not insult this person. We should not insult him. Today is a Christmas, and at least we can allow this poor man to enjoy good meal, good sleep, good hospitality, even for a single day at our home. Edla Manson, she used to speak in a very polite and humble way that nobody could deny her request, and her father immediately he got ready. Okay, my daughter, do whatever you want. And at that time, the coat pant which the peddler had been wearing, it was offered as a gift from the side of the Iron Master, and he was offered some other gifts as well, as clear. So he was enjoying good food, he was enjoying a sound sleep, okay, and in the evening he got up and he was given some beautiful surprises, clear. So he was enjoying. The next morning when the Iron Master and Edla Manson, they paid a visit to the church nearby to their home for their morning prayer. There in the church they found the same crofter. Now please underline, pay attention to me, the crofter, clear? Crofter word, farmer means, I had erased. Crofter who was living in the hut, who had given the one night shelter to the peddler, he was crying before the Iron Master, because crofter, he had been working in the fields of Ramsjo Iron Mill. Once again I am repeating my words. Crofter, farmer, he didn't have his own land, उसकी अपनी property नहीं थी. He had been working in the fields of Ramsjo iron mill. Clear? So he simply started crying before the iron master by telling, sir, 2 days before there was a Rattrap seller and he had come at my home. I had given him one night shelter and he had robbed me. He is an unpleasant person, sir, ungrateful person, and he had cheated me, sir. He had taken my 30 kronos and he had run away from there. When the iron master, he listened these words that he was a Rattrap seller, immediately he got the message the same person who was lying at his home was a thief. Immediately he rushed with his daughter towards back to his home. On his way back to his home, he started thinking so many things, like what kind of things the Rattrap seller he had stolen from my home, like silver spoons, money, okay, forks, knives and other things. In this way, when finally he reached at the home and he met the watchman and started asking where the Rattrap seller, is he at home or he had gone? Then the watchman, he answered back to the iron master, so just few minutes before he had left the place and he had gone. Oh my God, now tell me what things he had taken. Sir, he has not taken anything. He has not taken anything, and rather than he has given a gift for Madam Edla Wilmanson. Then Edla Wilmanson, she got surprised. A gift for me? Show it to me. Then she had taken, it was a rat trap. It was a rat trap covered with a cloth. Okay. When she unfolded the cloth and she found inside the same 30 kronos, the 10 kronos note which he had stolen from the house of the crofter. These were lying inside the cage. Clear? And along with them there was a letter. And she took the letter, unfolded it and started reading. It was like an apologetical letter. It was a letter in which the peddler, he had kept a promise to Edla Wilmanson, dearest madam, means it is your hospitality, that means because of you I could be able to get my heart changed. Now this time I have been changed from a bad person into a noble and kind and generous man. Definitely I keep a promise to that next time I would not be robbing, I would not be stealing to anyone, and next Christmas, next year, definitely I would be able to join you once again, your Captain Von Stale. She got delighted. Boys, means I cannot explain you that what kind of joy she was having at that time because of her effort that she could be able to change the heart and mind of a cruel person. She has changed that cruel person into a noble and generous man. So in this way, beautifully, Selma Lagerlof, she has conveyed a message. If you are having a kindness in your heart, a nobility in your heart, a generosity in your heart, by utilizing it in the world, you can be able to change the heart and mind of many criminals, many cruel persons, and they could be, you could help them out in order to become a human beings from a wild beast, right? So this was the story, Rattrap. I think so you might have listened to me attentively. This was a summarization in part number 1, and word by word explanation will be done from the next part. Clear? Till then, have a nice day once again, and just keep asking the question answers, your queries on the WhatsApp group in which you have already been added. I'll be waiting for you. Till then, have a nice day. Namaskar. Thank you so much.